Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have Pendulum, and we have Pendulum infinite negates. Pretty much every hand does it, and super consistent. Can put up like more than one negate. You can play through Nibiru, Dark Ruler no more, all of that stuff that you people tell me I can play around. So starting off, we activate our spell power mastery. I mean, this is just an average hand. We have a few draw cards. We have a Magician's Restage, which is kind of our main way to play through Dark Ruler. If you don't have this in your hand, I mean, all you lose is the Dark Ruler negate, and this can just be an even better card, like say Servant or something, or an Abductor or something, or something on those lines. We have Spell Power Mastery, which will just let us search our Servant, and we have 3 spells in our hand, so that we'll just get to resolve that for free. We get to activate our Upstart Goblin. We draw the Abductor. We're going to go ahead and scale our Abductor. We're going to get spell counters and whatnot. We banished the Jackal King. The main reason we banished Jackal King, we run 2, so, and we're just going to be running, we're going to be summoning the second one off our Servant anyways, so it doesn't really matter whether we banish it or not. As you can see, we're just going to be summoning our Servant and the copy of our Jackal King. Both of them get a counter, so from here on out we can just play through Nibiru and whatnot. Now we are going to be summoning out the Magician Souls, and then we will link the Servant and the Souls into a copy of Crowley. Crowley will go ahead activate, searching any one of your spellbook cards. It doesn't matter whether, even if you draw Knowledge, you still have the Magician's Restage, which will just let you revive the Souls, and then you can use Knowledge on that. We're going to go ahead and normal summon the blue board. We're going to be getting rid of our 2 spells, and we'll send that to the graveyard too. We're going to draw 2 cards, and then our Abductor will get 3 counters. This means we can go ahead, use Spec, get search for Chronograph Sorcerer. This is just another extender since we really have whatever we need. Then we can go ahead, go into the Selene. Selene is just, Selene. You can't really argue with that. What I meant to do is, you're supposed to, first I want as many counters as I want in Selene, so all that really was a bit of a misplay. First you just want to go ahead, use your Restage, and then you want to go into Selene later, like right here. This just gets you another counter. It's not too necessary, I'd say, but getting the extra counters are nice. So we're going to go ahead, scale our Chronograph, we get more counters. We're going to summon a Time Gazer. We're going to go ahead, use the Magician Soul, sending the Instant Fusion and the Restage for a few draws, mainly because I don't really need the extender of the Instant Fusion. We already have more than enough to kind of win from here. So we really just draw into another extender, Gesture Confit, and since we send the Restage to the graveyard, we can get search for Magician's Right Hand. Now, not only can this play around Dark Ruler, it can also play around any like Spell Speed 4-esque effect like Forbidden Droplets and Super Poly 2, since it doesn't like change with the activation. It's more of a continuous effect, if I have my rulings correct. So we're going to get some counters. We're going to go ahead, summon out our Endymion. Now we can go ahead and link those 2 into a Unicarrier. We're going to go ahead, scale our little Endymion, and then we will pen summon the Chronograph. We're going to go ahead, summon our Endymion, popping the Abductor. Now we can overlay into an Absolute Dragon. We're going to go ahead, go into the Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep will the Absolute Dragon will summon the Vortex Dragon, which is just another Omni negate. And now we can use Cross Sheep, summon back the Magician's Souls, and then we can go into Selene. Selene will just summon something back. This isn't too necessary. I'm just doing this to get the Endymion into the extra deck, maybe for next turn or something. We're going to go ahead and get the Reaper-Docus, go into the Symbolic Word of Sovereignty, and then just like that, we can go ahead, activate Magician's Right Hand. We will use the effect of Unicarrier, getting our Thunderbird, and then during the end phase, our some more Word of Sovereignty will trigger, summoning Mist Valley Apex Avian. So right here we have infinite negates, in case you do not know how it works. As long as you're able to get Mist Valley Apex Avian and Thunderbird on the field, you have infinite negates. All you what Avian reads is, once per chain you can activate, when your opponent activates a card, you can just negate it by bouncing back any Mist Valley card you control. So by itself it's a negate. You used to play it in old Magician decks before, like Endymion and whatnot, just as another Omni negate that you can pen summon, and you can do it every turn since it just bounces back to the hand. But there's another Mist Valley card, Mist Valley Thunderbird, which just lets you if it's sent from the hand to the if it goes from the field to the hand, you can summon it again. So you're gonna activate Apex Avian when your opponent activates a card effect. You just bounce back the Thunderbird to negate it, and then Thunderbird will trigger since it was bounced back in order to summon itself. And now if your opponent like normal summons a monster and they attack over the Thunderbird, we still have Vortex Dragon negate, Avian is just another negate, we have the Magician's right hand negate, and we have the Jackal King monster negate. So even if they attack over Thunderbird, they can't really do anything. And since most starters nowadays just they have trigger effects that trigger when they are summoned, and not a lot of starters have ignition effects, so that just helps bypass a lot of starters. Not a lot of combo decks can really pop off too much without their normal summon, unfortunately, and much less without their normal summon and 4 other negates. It's just absolutely insane. You're able to do this with every single hand through any hand trap you're playing around. Nibiru, Dark Ruler no more, Forbidden Droplets, Super Poly, all of that stuff. It's just almost impossible to beat. So let's go to the deck profile now. So we have the deck profile right here, starting off with the triple Mighty Master. You have to maximize on this. You want to see it as much as possible. Not only does it have, not only is it a spell or trap negate at some points, you can. It's also kind of just an extender. Helps you unclog scales with its effect. Gets you spell counters. And it just has a lot of utility in this deck, so we have to kind of maximize on it. One copy of Reflection. Reflection is able to summon itself out, and it's also just another level 7 for your absolute, I guess, which is another plus point of it. And it's able to summon itself and another Pendulum monster from your hand. So in case you have like the Jackal King in your hand, you're always able to just keep it ready with your Reflection. And if it is a special summon, you can go ahead and bounce a you can bounce itself, I think, and then another card your opponent controls. You can really bounce back any card that has spell counters from your field to the hand, so even Pendulum Scales, which can help you unclog them, which is super cool. 2 copies of Jackal King. This is just another monster negate and helps you play around Nibiru, since you're usually summoning it off your Servant or your Reflection. Triple copies of Chronograph. It's another extender, and plus it also just destroys itself and puts it in the extra deck face up for you to pen summon later. It also has the excellent scale of 8, which is super nice. Triple copies of Magical Abductor. This just searches any of your penned monsters when it has enough spell counters, which is super important. And on the field it can even search a Magician's Soul straight from your deck, which is super nice. 1 copy of Time Gazer. It's kind of a brick for your Chronograph, but it's pretty worth it just because Chronograph, not only does it get you a spell counter, it also puts in the extra deck to pen summon, and it's also just another extender, so it's really important. 1 copy of your Servant of Endymion. Being able to summon Jackal King from your deck is especially important, since you're getting you're able to play through Nibiru from that point on. Usually you are able to get Servant of Endymion early enough with your you have Abductor, Spell Power Mastery, you've got Triple Allure of Darkness, you run Upstart, you run Into the Void, you run your Spellbook Engine for another draw 2. You just draw so many cards, it's practically impossible not to draw into your Servant, and then your Servant just some Jackal King, play around Nibiru, then combo off. 2 copies of Blue Boy along with your Spellbook Engine of 2 of your Spellbook Secrets and 1 of the Spellbook Knowledge. Blue Boy is just such a good card. Since this deck doesn't use its normal summon, Blue Boy is just able to... It's basically Pot of Greed. You normal summon it, you search your Spellbook of Secrets. Secrets is on, you can activate it, search another Spellbook card, Spellbook of Knowledge, and you can activate Knowledge, which will send this Blue Boy from your field to the graveyard in order to draw 2 cards. So from that point on, you basically have 6 cards in your hand, and you would have deck thinned a lot. You pretty much have you would have activated 2 spell cards, which is super nice. On top of that, all of that is searchable off the Crowley, which is kind of a force negate from your opponent. It's just linked to just 2 spellcasters, so in case you want to send cards from your from your field to graveyard before Magician's Restage, you can do that too. But going on, we run triple Jester Confit. The extenders are important in this deck, especially just because you do want the extenders to go into cards like Selene and Reaper Docus. Jester is a free summon, not once per turn, and is also just another target for your Magician's Reach stage and your relinquished anima, so that's kind of nice. Triple copies of Magician's Souls. This card is really good, helps you send dead cards from your hand to graveyard, such as multiples of Spellbook of Secrets, multiples of Spell Power Mastery, your Magician's Restage. Just has so much application. Magician's Souls, you pretty much have to run it. Triple copies of Allure of Darkness, mainly because most of your cards are dark. The only non-darks you run are Reflection, Abductor, Servant, Blue Boy, and the Mist Valley engine. So you definitely do have to run Allure of Darkness. You can't really run it less than 3. One copy of Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion, another spell, gets you spell counters, and also helps you summon your Millennium Eyes Restrict, which can help you play around hand traps earlier on, which is really nice. One copy of Spellbook of Knowledge for your Spellbook engine. Triple copies of your Spell Power Mastery for your Pendulum cards. Getting Servant early on is very important, just because since getting Servant just helps you pop off so hard, it's insane. It also helps you generate even more spell counters, which is just super powerful. Next we run the one copy of Upstart Goblin with Into the Void. They're just draw 1 and spells, which lets you generate even more spell counters. The 2 copies of Spellbook of Secrets. This is because for Spellbook engine, triple copies of Magician's Restage. Restage is just able to do more stuff, you know. It's just an absolutely insane card. Helps you search a card that plays around Dark Ruler, Droplets, Super Poly. It helps you just extend even further by summoning cards like Blue Boy, Jester, and Souls back from the graveyard. It's just an absolutely insane card. On top of that's not even once per turn, so you can just activate multiples, bring back your Souls 2 times, and then send both of them to the graveyard, draw 2, and get a search for your right hand. So basically drawing 2 and searching 1, which is pretty insane. And finally, just the Apex Avian Thunderbird for our Infinite Negates. Next, for extra deck, we run one copy of Vortex Dragon, another negate with your Absolute, one copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict as an instant fusion target, the Absolute, as I said, for your Vortex. It's a rank 7, so you are able to just make it pretty easily off these cards, especially since they are searchable and they can be directly sent from the deck to the graveyard with Magician's Souls. One copy of Avramax with the IP. Sometimes you do end on it, which is kind of interesting. I have found the need for the Avramax a lot of times, so I do run the Avramax. One copy of your Appaloosa. If you're not able to make Infinite Negates, going for an Appaloosa for like 2 or 3 is kind of the next best thing. This usually only happens if you brick, but you know, this is Pendulum, you can't brick, so this is just really nice. One copy of Simorgh of Sovereignty for your Apex Avian. 2 copies of Selene. Selene is just an insane card. I've never really found myself using any more than 2, honestly. I think 3 is I think 2 is just the best number. You you usually just go into the second one after going into Cross Sheep. So that's the reason why I play the second one. I don't play the third one. As you can see, one copy of your Daybreaker. This card does come in clutch when you're trying to clear your Pendulum scales, and clearing your scales is a lot more important in this deck than others. The reason being, Simorgh of Sovereignty can only summon a Wing Beast if its level is equal to or lower than the total number of unused spell trap zones. So if you have like 4 spell trapped cards, say you have 2 scales, the Thunderbird in your spell trap zone with your unit carrier, and you have a Magician's Right and you have 4 cards. That means you have 1 unused spell trap zone and your opponent has 5 unused spell trap zones. So you can only summon a level 6 or lower Wing Beast, which is just not that great. You do kind of have to run the Daybreaker. It just helps you so much in destroying your own cards. It does come up a lot. Also triggers Chronograph, which is kind of important. Well, it's not important, and it's just really notable. One copy of Crowley. This card is excellent hand trap bait, as it is kind of just a force to negate. Otherwise, you're going straight into a Selene on top of having a Pot of Greed, which is absolutely ridiculous. 1 copy of your Yin Carrier to get Thunderbird on the field. 1 copy of Reaper Dokus to change cards into Winged Beasts for your Multibird of Sovereignty. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. As I said, you sometimes end up on it, so you can go into Magnite Crusader Avermax. 1 copy of Cross Jeep for your Vortex Dragon combo, and finally the 1 copy of Relinquished Anima. Relinquished Anima definitely does come up. It can just send your Magician Souls from your field to graveyard for free in case you want to just bring it back with Restage, and it's just a very accessible card along with being a spellcaster, which really helps a lot. And that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, as it really does help the channel, and I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye.